Good evening again, and Happy New Year to all. And welcome to our monthly series of the presentations. What we see the outlook for the next series, which has started today on a very good note, and the new year has also started on a very good, strong outlook, strong notes. So here to brush up what we do, we give outlook in all perspective, fundamental, technical, and even derivative, how we see the market in coming period or coming series. And we also recommend few stocks based on fundamental, technical, and derivative. Also, we suggest few strategy. And the presentation will continue for around 40-45 minutes from all the three segments of the research. And then we will be having around 15-20 minutes for Q&A, which we will be answering towards the end of the program. So to start with, on fundamental side, what we look at market, I would like to take up that. So first of all, to recapture what has happened in the last series, around we saw initially around 1,000-point decline, and towards the end in last 7-10 days, almost whatever the loss was there was totally recovered, and market has ended marginally lower as compared to where we had started the series. The decline was mainly driven by FII. FII sold off in the initial period, and definitely in the last quarter, last fortnight, the selling got arrested, and we saw recovery in the market as domestic money is quite strong, and that has supported the market. If you see, Indian market has underperformed developed market, but we were in line with emerging market. The other emerging market has declined, and as compared to that, we had declined more or less on the similar line. Whereas we had seen US market had seen new high in this month. Whereas even after Fed increasing or doubling its target of tapering, and also indicating that the interest rate will be increased sooner. Even thereafter, US market made a new high in this last month. That indicate that the corporate results which are expected in US market also are likely to be comparatively good. So we what we are seeing right now also is that there is another wave of COVID. This time it is Omicron, where the cases are in fact are doubling even at the peak of second wave or the earlier wave. The US, Europe, and even now in India, we are seeing a lot of cases coming up. But in this variant, there is a differentiation, is that the fatality and hospitalization is quite less. And that is helping the economy. Economy is not getting restricted. And the economy is continuing, maybe at a minor lower pace, but still continuing in all part of the world. Even in India, with the increasing cases, though there will be some restriction in some states, but in all aggregate, the restrictions will be minimal and not likely to be very large, as the fatality and hospitalization are comparatively lower. Though the case increase on a daily basis is increasing rapidly. So what we see that the coming quarter, it will be more driven by the third quarter result, which will be coming, which will start in few days. And it will be another thing which will be driving the market is towards the end is like expectation of budget. So what the expectation get built up for the budget, that also will lead to some support to the market. And also somewhere the market will also be likely to see how the things are panning out in the fourth quarter. What we had seen that quite a few sectors are getting impacted by a lot of increase in the cost, which they are not able to pass it on to their customers, like auto, FMCG, even in cement and steel. What we had seen, the demand has come down, mainly because of the increase in cost. The cost has increased substantially, as we had discussed in last few monthly meeting and even in our October meeting also, that the cost of various materials has are higher by almost anywhere between 60 to 300% as compared to pre-COVID level. So that much high cost is not being absorbed by the ultimate customers. So ultimate customers, there is a people who are there at the bottom of the pyramid. Their income is also not increased or had remained subdued, and they are facing the they are reducing their buying, and which is resulting into lower demand for a lot of new lot of companies. So that part of economy or activity will continue to get impacted. In that, what we see that auto, FMCG, cement and steel, these companies are likely to report cost pressure or demand decline in this quarter. That is the third quarter results. Whereas on the other hand, few of the industries are likely to do comparatively well, which include IT, telecom, textile and banking. So these industries are not somehow, if you see, either they are service industry or they are somewhere export driven. So IT and telecom are more of a service driven, and even banking is also service driven. So as such are not facing cost pressure because of the such a high increase in the their consuming raw material cost. And textile is anyhow getting benefited because of the export driven activity, which is having a larger demand. So these companies can report better performance in the quarter. As such, results for these companies in these sectors can be better. So what we see that in the third quarter results, the results will be more of a mixed bag. You will see a lot of company reporting good numbers, and lot many companies are disappointing on their numbers. So it will be more of a stock specific market, what we see in the coming period. And one has to look the market in that perspective only. Apart from that, the budget, what we are seeing that in the budget, though there is a good increase in tax revenue, and which is even ahead of what government has estimated at the initial stage. But one thing which is still lacking is the divestment target. Government has kept a divestment target of 1,75,000, and the overall divestment will not be able to reach that and will be having a very wide gap of margins in that reaching that. So even if LIC IPO and all come, even thereafter the expectation is that it will not be able to reach, and there could be around 1 lakh crore gap on divestment target. So in that perspective, the overall deficit, even if we have a good collection and all, the deficit will be higher and will be more of in line with what government has projected in the initial stage. And as usual, what happens, like more of companies related to infrastructure and all find some favor into the budgets, and we see generally stock running up to that expectations, and that can happen in the coming period. No doubt At current point of time, the infrastructure sectors is not performing, or the results are also not giving any good indications in the immediate period. So what we see that the January month will be more of a mixed bag. One has to look for the scripts which are likely to perform in the coming results, and then there only we will see outperformance of the stocks. And on an index level, we had already moved up over 1200 points from the bottom. So we are seeing index moving into the range, and what we see that the range could be anywhere between 17,000 to 18,800 or 900 levels. So this is what the outlook for the coming series on a fundamental side. I'll now request Runjhun to talk about fundamental stock, what we are recommending in this month.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So the first stock we are recommending this month is Sapphire Foods. This is the newest kid who got listed in the QSR segment. So they have the franchise, Yum's franchisee for India as KFC and Pizza Hut, and also Yum's franchisee for Sri Lanka, whereas this is the largest international QRS chain. KFC in India is anyways the largest and the most popular brand in India in this chain. If you see the industry first, we see the industry. The this food and service industry is actually dominated by the unorganized market. However, going forward, the organized market, like be it standalone or the chain of restaurants, is expected to gain higher market share. And as per a study, it is expected to reach 51% of the total market from 37 or 38% in FY20. This would expected to reach by FY25, thus surpassing the unorganized market. Also, within the organized food service, if you see, the QSR chain is actually gaining and growing fastest, and it's expected to reach around 534 billion rupees by FY25. Now, coming to the company specific, the company has actually done various changes in the recent past. They focus on the omni channel. So, if you go to any Pizza Hut outlet, the Pizza Hut outlet would service and also would have a dine-in options. However, in the recent past, they have tried to reduce the store store value, or the store space. Thereby, the dining has reduced. However, if you see, it doesn't have much impact. It did not impact much revenues. So the company has able to report healthy SSG and also able to grow and reduce their cost, thereby improving the margins, which we expect that this is quite recent changes they have done. So the whole thing or the full benefit is not yet reflected in the financials, and we expect this to continue and drive the EBITDA margins going forward also. In terms of the store expansion, the company is saying that they would be doubling the store count in next 3 to 4 years, as they're seeing higher SSG. SSG, that is the same sales growth. So that is why they are very optimistic about going forward. They've also opened 13 stores in Q1 FY22 and 32 stores in FY22, Q2 FY22, and estimated to open 60 new stores in this quarter. The revival, if you compare it with the other QSR listed players like the Jubilant and Devyani is a sister concern which also has the Yum's franchisee for the same brands. The revival in the Q2 was lower than the market leader, that is Jubilant Food and Devyani, but it is much better than the other peers like Westlife Development, Barbecue Nation, and Burger King. And when it comes to the valuations, we find that the company is trading at very attractive valuations. It is much cheaper than the Devyani and the Jubilant Foods, and also cheaper than the other names which I've said like Westlife and Burger King and Barbecue Nation, despite having better financials and higher growth. So that is why we believe that the company is poised to growth for a near future. and we like this company given the strong growth and improving margins. Now I hand over to Jihan for the next talk.
Thanks, Sunjun. The second stock we have is State Bank of India. We have been liking this company, and it is the largest bank in India, and with a loan book of around 24 lakh crores, more than 24 lakh crores, 22,000 branches all over India. So if we look before COVID, SBI was considered as the best PSU bank, but it was also ranked much below private banks. Although the post-COVID scenario has changed, SBI's performance, particularly on the asset quality front, has in fact been better than many private banks also. While the stock continues to trade at traditional valuation, which other PSU banks command. If we look at the net NPA, it has declined from close to 6% in FY18 to today 1.5%. And the gap between private banks and SBI has narrowed down. Private banks net NPA is at 1.1% average. If we talk about slippage ratio for SBI, it has been lower than all private banks since the start of COVID pandemic, averaging at just 1.1% over last 6 quarters compared to 2.5% for the likes of HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank and Axis Bank. So clearly, if we look at slippage ratio as an indication of future performance on the GNPA front, then SBI has an edge over even large private banks. So that is the reason that we expect credit cost to decline and settle at 1% levels from levels of 1.8% we saw over FY20 and 21. So this decline in credit cost will lead to expansion in ROA to almost 1% by FY24. The last time when SBI had an ROA of 1% was way back in 2013. So after a gap of 10-11 years, again we are expecting that by Q4 of FY13, the bank should reach 1% ROA level and FY24 comfortably for the full year. So this is a significant achievement again for SBI. It is on course to reach the 1% ROA mark. Also, all its subsidiaries are performing well, be it SBI Cards, SBI Life Insurance, General Insurance, or even SBI Mutual Fund, which has been growing very well. The value of all these subsidiaries comes to rupees 150 per share. And we value the core bank at 1.3 times FY23 book value at 475 rupees, giving us a target of 625 rupees, which we feel is a conservative target. Considering the size of the bank, we are assuming loan growth of just 10 to 12% over next couple of years. If the loan growth exceeds this and moves closer to 15%, then the bank can even command a higher multiple and the target can be even higher. So that's it from my side. I will hand over to the technical team. Thank you.
Thank you, Jihan. Good evening, all of you. This is Swati. Today, the Nifty has given a very good amount of a rally as a first day of this new year. We have seen that the Nifty was up by almost 1.5%. Technically, last month we have given a cautious view on the Nifty, saying that any dips towards 16,400 will be a strong support level, and one can just look for a buy on dip strategy. From exactly from that level, say 16,410 level, the low which has been formed on the 20th of December, and we have seen a pullback rally on the Nifty from that support levels. Now going ahead, if we look towards the chart, Nifty was just trading within the downward channel, but today, if we look towards the new chart on the weekly basis, Nifty has almost given the breakout of this channel, which indicates a very positive sign on the technical front. On the upside, I believe Nifty has technically the important support and resistance level, as the Nifty is well placed above all the important moving average, say 50, 100 and 200 DMA, which also gives a positive indication. If we look towards the momentum indicators such as RSI, is showing a positive crossovers. I believe looking towards the today's momentum rally, Nifty is likely to touch the fit of 17,800 levels on the higher side. If it's break that level, then definitely this rally can be continued towards 18,000 psychological marks. As long as, whereas on the downside, the immediate support is placed at 17,400 levels. So that will act as an immediate support level for the Bank Nifty. For a short term duration, 17,100 levels can be the crucial support level for the Nifty sides. So as long as Nifty sustains above 17,400 level, one can just remain into the buying positions for immediate target of 17,800 to 18,000 levels on the higher side. Any move below 17,400 may drag the Nifty towards 17,100 levels. The overall view, as we since we have just formed this particular report on the Friday itself, the view we had declared a cautious view as the Nifty was just trading within the downward sloping channel. But looking towards the today's setup of the Nifty, I believe that the Nifty might see some this pullback rally continuation towards 18,000 psychological levels. But definitely, it's a stock specific market. I believe that one should definitely go for a quality stocks with the strict stop losses. So, in general, the overall view for the Nifty will remain a positive as long as it sustains above 17,400, will act as a strong stop loss for the long positions. I would like to just give a brief idea about the Bank Nifty as well. Today, if we look towards the spot Bank Nifty has just surpasses its crucial resistance level of 200 DMA on the closing basis, which gives a very strong rally on the upside. Looking towards the today's setup, I believe this rally is likely to be extended towards 37,360 levels. Why 37,360? Because it's a resistance provided by 50 days moving average. So it will be a Bank Nifty which might take a Nifty on the higher side, where on the lower side, 35,000 will act as a crucial support level on the Bank Nifty front. Any move below that only we can witness some profit booking or say the selling pressures on the Bank Nifty, which might take a Bank Nifty downwards towards 35,200 to 35,100 levels on the downsides. So the overall view will remain a positive on both the indices with the mentioned stop losses. So this is the overall technical view on the Nifty and the Bank Nifty. Coming towards the stock specific, this month we are initiating a 2 buy call. First one will be on the Godrej CP. If we look towards the chart setup, I have just drawn a downward sloping trend line and it has given the breakout of the same level. It's a weekly chart, and if you look towards the RSI, it's showing a positive crossovers. So technically, the weekly charts has given a very strong breakout after the 3 months of a downfall, which gives a which suggests a potential up move in the near term. The interesting fact is that the stock is well placed above 50 DMA. My momentum indicators showing RSI is a positive crossover. Today, as of now, if you look towards the today's chart, Nifty, this Godrej CP has not performed really very well as per the expectations. But over a period of time, definitely, I believe it has a potential to reach up to 1070 levels. So one can take a long positions above 967. If we are getting any dips towards 945, one can add on. I believe it has a potential to reach up to 1070 with the strict stop loss of 920 levels on the downside. My second buy call on for this particular month will be on the AB Capital, Aditya Birla Capital. If you look towards the chart, this chart has also shown, I have shown on the chart that this particular counter has given the breakout of the downward sloping trend line. The volumes are really increasing and this breakout is on the monthly chart, so which gives a very strong indication of upside. We have seen that the pullback rally from the previous retracements levels, and this particular counter has a potential to show the up move in the near term. Today, this particular stock has performed really very well on the closing basis. It is just up by almost 4.3%. So I believe that it has a potential to reach up to 145 to 150 levels very soon. So one can take a long positions. At the CMP, if you are getting any dips towards 214, one can take a again buy on every dips towards 214. Stop loss can be kept at 104. Target I'm looking forward is 145 to 150 levels on the higher side. That's it from my end. I request derivative guys to take a call forward.
Yeah, thank you, Swati. See, on the derivative front, this has been one of the rollovers to watch out for. After a long time, lot of shorts had been covered. The open interest in terms of stocks and indices has been low for this particular expiry, which is very good in terms of number of shares. Definitely, we believe that both the indices, Nifty and Bank Nifty, they are likely to move up further. A good reversal has been seen. Also, in the last expiry, the December expiry, during the monthly outlook webinar, we had mentioned, that December should be a negative month where selling is likely to continue of the previous months. And that is what exactly has happened. And similarly, when we sent out this particular email, we were very bullish. We continue to remain bullish. At that point of time, 17,000 level was just breached above, and the data continued to be very positive. The rollovers in terms of percentage are almost similar to the last few months, but number of shares, the rollovers have been much lower. That means shorts haven't been covered. Haven't been rolled over, sorry. So definitely, we believe Nifty should move up further. We believe Nifty is now above an important resistance area of 17,500. It has closed above the same today. And very likely it is going to make a move towards the 18,000 levels. The series open interest for the January series for all the strikes, that also suggests that 18,000 level should be touched. Highest open interest amongst calls is around the 18,000 odd call strike, and you've seen a very good build up of put strikes in 17,500 and all below put strikes. That means good amount of support area is going to come in at every fall. Up to the 17,500 and lower. The PCR for this month after a long time has opened much higher above 1.2 levels, and that has also fueled in the up move. While one thing to note here is the VIX, when we were falling from 17,500 odd levels to 16,500 odd, the VIX did not rise much. From 16 it went to 18 for a day. 18 and a half, and then again it came back to 16. That means resilience, and which is a very good sign for the markets, and that is one of the major areas because of which market has seen a good up move. So watch out for the same. We believe the VIX will continue to fall now and can fall below the 14 odd levels going forward. So basically, we'd like to reiterate that this reversal is in place, and for most part of this series, Nifty is likely to go up and continue to remain in buying. The major resistance area around 17,500 has been broken. The next major resistance is 18,000 levels, and now supports become 17,500 and 17,000 levels on the downside. Okay, coming to the stocks, very important thing, this report had gone, I think, a day earlier, and in that we had clearly mentioned, pharma, majorly pharma and PSU stocks. We believe this expiry has been very good for these two particular sectors, and PSU as a whole has shed a lot of open interest. That means shorts have been covered in this particular index as a whole. So we believe PSUs are here to stay for this month. They are likely to continue to witness good buying momentum, and one should be buying PSU stocks going forward. We really like Coal India. The call was given a day back on Friday, and we booked also today, and we'll continue to remain positive in this stock. The other stocks that we are very positive from the PSU space are BPCL, ONGC, IGL, some of which the calls have already been given. Also from the pharma space, there are some consolidation breakouts that have come in with open interest going down and delivery going up. So that is also a very good sign for these stocks. So even though they were down today, we believe, they are likely to witness a very good rally. going forward. So Lupin and Sun Pharma are the two stocks that we really like in this space, and one can look to buy these two stocks from a series perspective. Also auto, see, even though auto has not been performing vis-a-vis the other markets, autos also have some of the auto stocks like Maruti, Tata Motors, Bharat Forge. These stocks have witnessed very low open interest. So even shorts have covered here. So we believe Maruti is one particular stock which can really do very well. So we believe it can go towards 8,000 odd level. Look out to buy this stock in this series. It can be one of the stocks for the series. Now on the flip side, some stocks have been open interest heavy, and unfortunately most of those stocks are from the IT space. So as a theme, we believe IT probably might not perform that well for this particular series, and the heavy open interest along with its long-term uptrend, which seems to have matured. So both these combinations, we believe some amount of profit booking can come into the IT major stocks, and that is why if you're holding IT from a trading perspective, one should book IT at least for this month and look to buy at lower end. Along with Wipro and Infosys, even TechM continues to be open interest heavy and can probably witness some selling as well. While IndusInd Bank from the banking space has very high open interest, looks difficult that this stock might move that much. So that can be one stock which can see some selling coming in. And even IEX from the power space, IEX is one stock which is in the PSU basket, but it is very open interest heavy, and that is why we believe this is one stock from the PSU basket which might not perform up to the mark and can see some profit booking in this first part of the series. So these are the stocks to sell. Now coming to the strategy. So we've given a strategy on Nifty long strangle. See, this report has been sent in the morning, and this strategy is already gaining a very good profit. If you've not done this, we believe you can shift it to 17,700 call, buy the 17,700 call and sell the 400 call put. Sorry, you can buy the 17,700 call and the 17,400 put along together. So generally, whenever you are seeing the markets where big moves come, like today, we've seen about a 200-point move, more than a 200-point move. These strategies make a very good profit. So we believe this move is likely to be here for another week or so, where Nifty will continue to witness good momentum. So one can look to buy long strangles on Nifty with a 80-point stop loss. So if you're doing the strategy, keep a 80-point stop loss for your premium loss, and your target would be around 400 points total premium. So the current strategy that we have given is already at about 300 points. So we are already in about 100 points premium gain, and we are looking to add another 50-70 points. Once that comes in, one can book profits. From the stock specific front, we have initiated a strategy on Oro Pharma. It's a bull call spread here. One can buy the 740 call and the 800 call can be sold. The total premium that comes out is 17 points in total, which is also your maximum loss. We believe if those 17-point premium comes down to 10, that means a 7-point loss. That would be your stop loss, and your maximum gain is 43 points in this. Because we like pharma and Oro Pharma has already broken out, we believe there can be a good amount of momentum in this particular stock, and the options are very liquid as well in this stock. So one can look to buy, do the particular strategy, and once we believe for this expiry, Oro Pharma can come to around 790-800 odd levels, which is where one can start to book the strategy. The maximum loss that you can get is 12,750 rupees. However, if you keep a stop loss, it will not be that much. It should be only about 7,000 odd rupees. Maximum gain that you can get is 32,000 out of this, and we believe one can get about 25,000 to 30,000 in this particular strategy if you're not booking at the expiry. That's it from my side. I'd like to ask the fundamental team to take over, please.
Yeah, request you to post your questions in the question box.
So there is one question on Lakshmi Organics. Can I take that?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Yeah. So Lakshmi Organics is a good company, and what we had seen in the past that the stock moved up quite fast in a very short period because of the prices of the acetic acid were going up, and also the company is getting into fluorochemical or fluorine chemical space that would start coming probably next year or so. So in anticipation of that good business, because fluorine gets higher margins and higher multiples, as we have seen with the Naveen and SRF. So that is why the stock has moved up. However, from the peak, it has now corrected around 30-40%. And we believe from the long-term point of view, it is a good entry point if you have a little long-term point of view for this company. So we are positive on this. Thank you.
Yeah, Can Fin Home,
Yeah.
Jihan, if you can take.
Positive on Can Fin Homes. In our latest interaction also with the MD, he has maintained that momentum in Q3 is also good. Also, if we look across the industry, channel checks with other real estate players and with agencies tracking the real estate industry like Knight Frank, etc. So all of them are saying that Q3 was one of the best Q3 in the last 10 years in this year. So and among the top 7 cities, so that's a positive sign. The same feedback we are getting even from yesterday from Keki Mistry of HDFC. So momentum remains strong, and this should be looked at as an opportunity to accumulate Can Fin Homes. So we remain positive.
Yeah, if technical team can take up on BSC or Jubilant Organic in Gravia. Swati?
Yes, yes, Vikas here.
Yeah.
See, Jubilant Ingredient in the bottom out. We already see the last week, last 2 trading session is bounce back that good volume up, good volume, and we expect the positive momentum is already trading in oversold zone. So we expect towards momentum towards upside nearby high. That is come around 1 second. Upside next important resistance for 610, and then next important resistance for 640. Today also give the good momentum in 2% almost. So we expect positive momentum and remain a positive in this stock, and this short term strong support zone plays around 568 and 564 at downside, and next target is intraday 1 to 2 trading session is 610, and weekly target is 640.
Yeah, there is a question on Map My India. So it's a latest listed company, and no doubt valuations are steep, but the business is also equally very strong. It is likely to benefit from whatever the new business trends which are emerging, which are linked to most of the geospectacles movement, like what has happened in O2 and all. And like all Maruti car will likely to have map on their dashboard, and which is been provided by Map My India. So similarly, lot many auto company will be providing that services and taking advantage of MapMyIndia. So future outlook is quite positive. No doubt in last few days, we had seen sharp movement in prices and valuations are steep. So uh, one should look for some corrections to enter in this stock, not now. And then also it's a highly traded, highly futuristic company than the near term valuations. So if someone is looking for say 4 5 years, then only one should look for these type of stocks.
Hello.
Yeah,
Sir, I'm taking that Canfin Home Finance.
yeah.
See, today we see the positive momentum and downside important support zone around 554 and 550. So those want to keep a buying position, they keep a stop loss is 550. Upside next immediate resistance place around 592 and above 592, 620, 624 in next target for Canfin Home Finance. That's it.
So Supriya Life, Ranjan, you are talking or can I take?
Sir, you go ahead.
Yeah, okay, fine. So Supriya Life Science is in API and they got basket of few niche API and also basket of lot many other API which they can add up in the futures, like around 60-70% of their revenue come from 4 5 API where they are the market leader in the world, and they got a basket of another 30 API which can add up in the futures in this series. Company has very strong financials with EBITDA margin of 40%, and even ROCE and ROE are also around 35-40%. So which is comparatively very strong as compared to the other API players. And management has indicated that there will be a reasonable growth in the coming period of around 20-25%, and they will be concentrating on these margins, will be looking at keeping the margin strong. So overall, the outlook on the company seems positive. No doubt in last few days, the stock has moved up sharply. But if someone has an outlook of say 1.5-2 years, the stock can perform and reach to around 750 and 800 levels. So long-term outlook on the company is very strong.
I will take up on data pattern.
Yeah.
It's again a recent listing and one of the better defense companies that we have seen where the working capital cycle although is long, but company commands very high EBITDA margins of 40% and ROCE also 40 plus, which is a positive. And even on the growth front, we expect a company to grow at 30% for next 2-3 years at least. Looking at the order book and the pipeline, company had a top line of around 225 crores and with an order book of 580 crores to be executed over next 2 to 3 years, and a pipeline of 1500 crores for next 3 years. So mostly on the defense side, the biggest customer for the company is DRDO. And although on valuations it is expensive, but if somebody has an outlook of 2 to 3 years, then this company should be held on to. This can give decent returns.
Yeah,
Sir,
technically,
yeah,
go ahead.
technically I take Tata Power and SAIL.
Yes,
See,
please.
Tata Power already today break the important resistance, that is 220, and close above that important resistance. So we expect the positive momentum in Tata Power. Next important target is 228 and 232 in upside. Stop loss kept around say 218 and below 218, so you can keep positive in Tata Power. Sale in next important resistance is 112, and right now trading 110. So we expect this 1 to 2 trading session. If say Steel Authority break the 112, then we expect further momentum towards 116, 118. Downside 106 is an important support zone for Steel Authority. That's it.
So there is a question on Tata Motor. So Tata Motor looks positive. Today also we saw a good positive trend in their monthly numbers in the December month, and they had outperformed most of the industry in passenger vehicle, and CV also was stable. The key point is how they perform in the GLR. We had seen GLR underperforming a lot in previous quarter because of the shortage of semiconductor. The situation is improving, but not very aggressively. It's gradually improving. So the things are likely to improve in coming period, maybe in this quarter or next in the March quarter, or may stabilize in the first quarter. And once this recover, then demand is comparatively better. And apart from that, their venture into passenger EV passenger vehicle, where they had garner investment from the international investment firms, that is also likely to add value to the overall company. So overall outlook on Tata Motor continue to remain strong.
Sir, I take CDSL and CAM.
Yeah,
CDSL technically looks positive at current level. Right now, trading the long-term moving average at 50, and take a strong support that 50 DMA, that is come around 1470, 75 range. Upside 1590 first important target, and then we expect further momentum 1620 for next target. So we can keep positive in this stock. CAMS looks positive at current level. The momentum indicator showing the positive momentum, but upside immediate resistance around place around 2830. That is 200 DMA. So we can expect momentum towards 200 DMA. Is the target is 2830. Above that, then we expect further momentum towards 3000 level. So we can see the positive moment in both stock.
So there is a question on Tata Metalic. See, the outlook on Tata Metalic for the near term is comparatively soft because of the high coking coal prices, which is getting reflected into this quarter, and margins are likely to come down for both their pig iron and even for their DI pipe division. But the company is likely to get merged with Tata Sponge Iron or Tata Long Product, and there also the outlook is more of a similar. They will also be facing high cost of coking coal, and also high cost of thermal coal. So overall, both the companies, for the near term, the outlook is comparatively soft because of the near term results. And even if we see the pressure on the prices also for secondary steel like Tata Metalic and Sponge Tata Long Product are subdued, where the prices are remaining soft. Apart from that, if we see the overall outlook on the other steel larger player, so what we see that Tata Steel is likely to report better number. That is mainly driven by the European operations, where they will be getting advantage of long-term contracts prices, and there the EBITDA per ton is likely to be improving substantially. So the overall Tata Steel results is likely to be better. Apart from that, if we see the other company, that is JSW Steel, JSW Steel will be benefiting on account of larger volume which will be coming in this quarter because of the start of their new plant, and also even also because of they will be reporting consolidated result of Bhushan Power in this. So overall EBITDA quarter on quarter will show good improvement, but EBITDA per ton will be lower. And JSPL, what we see that there again, though they will be facing a lot of cost pressure on account of coking coal at India operation level, but since they got around 50% of their requirement mines in Australia, Mozambique, and South Africa, so 50% of that cost will get recovered. So their EBITDA per ton will decline marginally by around $50 per ton. They can see some decline. So overall result will be okay. Whereas sale will see substantial pressure in the result in this quarter because of the coking coal prices increase and realization remaining more or less a flattish. So sale result will be more of a declining.
On Shriram Transport Finance,
Yeah.
now it will be merged with Shriram City Union Finance, but still the merged entity will have around 80% of loans towards the used CV loans. So largely we should consider the merged entity as a CV financing company only. And if we look at the performance of Shriram Transport Finance over last couple of quarters, despite of second wave of COVID, it has outperformed the likes of even good companies like Chola and Sundaram Finance. So we are positive over here. Only negative point can be that the loan book size is already 1,20,000 crores plus, and to grow at a fast pace from this level is going to be difficult. So loan growth expectations cannot be more than, let's say, 14-15%, yeah, and accordingly overall expectation should be that much. Although on a re-rating front, there is scope for the price to book value to move up from here post the merger.
Yeah, sure, Nirav here. I'll just take HDFC. There is a question on HDFC. They bought one lot around 2,600. See, for HDFC, very good support is around 25-20, and that has been retested in the medium term, and open interest suggests that it can move up further. Important resistance on the upside 2,600 has been broken, so next real resistance now is around 2,800 for the stock. So you can hold your longs with a stop loss of around 25-50 odd on a closing basis, and look to book around 2,800, and it is possible that this 2,800 can come in the next few days.
So there is a question on Mahindra CIE that also looks positive from the long-term perspective, but in between this quarter and the coming quarter, they will be facing some challenges in this quarter on account of shortage of semiconductor, and because of that, we may not be able to see growth in this quarter. And in the coming quarter, because of the excessive COVID movement of COVID cases which are being seen in the European region, so auto sales there are getting impacted. So in near term, no doubt there is some headwinds. So quite possible the stock may remain sideways for some time, but thereafter the outlook continue to remain positive. So if someone is holding for 1 year perspective, then it better to hold on the stock, or can be accumulated if the stock comes down.
Yes, sir. I'm taking Chola Finance.
Yeah,
See, Chola Finance technically looks positive. In chart, downward trend line is break around 540 level. If Chola Finance break 540 level, then we expect further momentum towards 570-75 in upside. Right now, trading below that trend line, so we can wait for breakout. Is break 541, then we can take a position. And a downside, 528 is an important support zone, 528 to 524. So we can keep watch this stock in breakout level, after breakout level, and then you can take a position. Those have position, they can hold it with stop loss 524 at downside.
Yeah, last 3-4 questions, if we can take. So there is a question on Zee Tele and merger with Sony. So though the set is going on for well placed for the merger of Zee and Sony, but there is some risk to it. Zee need around 75% of voting in favor of this merger, and against this around 17% is held by Investec, so that if they oppose and another 8-10% holding they are able to garner to oppose the deal, then there could be some risk to it. So it's not through that the deal is already final and over, so one should need to be careful about that. But anyhow, if suppose this deal doesn't happen, then there could be some other deal which may be in the pipeline. So it can get delayed because of the process. Whatever the things which are offered by Sony is quite attractive, and if the deal goes through, then definitely there is a good upside to the prices from the current level. If technical team can take up about Amara Raja and Bajaj Auto.
Yes, sir. See, Amar Raja looks positive at current level. We see some positive momentum in Amar Raja, and upside next important resistance place on Amar Raja is around 652. If the next breakout is 652, if Amar Raja break that level, then we expect further momentum in Amar Raja. Downside important support level place around 620. So those have position, they can keep a stop loss around 620 level, and an upside 652 is the next important target. Second one is Graphite India also trading in overbought zone. So those have position, they can keep a trailing stop loss around 500. Below 500, it will come down towards 470 and maybe 465 level at downside. Bajaj Auto also trading the important resistance zone that is come around 3320, and if Bajaj Auto break that level, then we expect further momentum towards 3400 and above level. Support at place around downside is 3240, 3250 at downside. So those have position, they can hold it and wait for next important breakout, that is 3320, and then next level is 3400 in upside.
So yeah, anything else?
There is a question on Swaraj Engine.
Yeah.
This company is owned by Mahindra, and it's a high quality company. Although its future will be dependent on the tractor industry. So if we look at the tractor industry, typically the cycle works in a way that 1 to 2 years of up cycle is followed by 1.5 year of down cycle. And since post COVID the upcycle had begun, and in last 3-4 months we have seen that numbers are now have started declining. So if somebody has a short term view of 6 odd months, then one should avoid this stock. But if the outlook is to hold for 1 to 2 years, then this can be a good stock to accumulate. Thank you.
Yeah, that's all from us. I think if someone has any more questions, you can write to us at research@nirmalbang.com. We'll be able to reply over email on that. And a recording of our this presentation will be available on our YouTube channel. So if someone has missed it, they can look at over there. It will get uploaded either today evening or early tomorrow morning. And now, thank you very much for joining, and be safe and take care of you and your family. Thank you very much.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel for in-depth interviews of India Inc. and press the bell icon so that you do not miss our updates.